Hello, my name is Tammy and I'm an independent jewellery maker and business owner. I also sell my work with my husband, who is an artist. In this week's vlog, I want to give you my top tips on how to do a craft fair. You want to have all of your packaging to hand. The last thing you want to do is, when you have a sale, be rummaging around underneath your table in all your boxes looking for a bag. That makes you look unprofessional. It makes you look like it's your first sale of the day, which won't look very good. So have a box behind your stand which has got all your different bags in that you need, organza bags for jewellery if that's what you use. Also have some tape, some scissors, your calculator, your pens, anything like that in there to hand, so it's all there ready. So when you're making a sale, you look professional, you're efficient, you're grabbing your bags, you're having a chat with them at the same time, and you know where everything is. It's a deal breaker basically to make you look more professional. Your first craft fair, you'll have absolutely no expectations, or you won't know what it's going to be like. Our first craft fair we took £50 and the stall cost us £10, and we were over the moon with that. Ideally now we've been doing it for a long time, we have a 10 times pitch fee limit minimum. So if we take £100 and the pitch costs us £10, then we're happy to go home with that. Ideally, to take a lot more than that is a lot better. We're not going to argue with that. It does depend on a lot of things though. Obviously, if you've got very expensive items to make, you might want to up that 10 times pitch fee. So you need to look at what you sell and decide what kind of percentage you want to take to make the event worthwhile. Unfortunately, it is trial and error with every event, and unfortunately there's a lot of variables that can affect an event. The weather might be pants, which will mean, nobody wants to come out in the rain, so the whole event could be a complete washout, which is a real bummer. Watch the weather before you go. The time of year can affect your sales. Obviously Christmas, you expect your sales to be good. Summer can be good, depending on where you are. If it's too hot, the weather can affect it. If you're at the beach, loads of people will just want to sit on the beach and have a beer or on a barbecue and not necessarily come spend money. So the weather can be a problem. Also, we find that whatever doom and gloom they're saying on the news, that can have a massive effect. If they're saying, oh, prices are going to rise, you're going to have to tighten your belt, then obviously they're not going to come out and buy something that isn't a necessity. What we're selling is something that people want, not what they need. So the doom and gloom that they say on the news can have a big problem, can have a big effect on what you're selling and the day. There's never any rhyme nor reason as to why one week you can do a regular market and it can be brilliant, and then the second week you go and it's absolute rubbish. But that's just one of those things, and doing craft fairs you have to suck it and see and just take it as it comes. Weather. I always watch the weather like a hawk before an event. It is very stressful if the weather's looking a little bit dodgy. We have a wind limit that we will trade in under our gazebo purely for health and safety reasons. Obviously, if you're indoors, you don't need to worry about the wind and the rain and the snow and whatever else the weather wants to chuck at you. But if it's going on outside, that can still have an effect on you inside. So you do still want to keep an eye on what weather is coming. Wind. Dealing with wind can be incredibly stressful. So ideally, if you know you're going to have a windy day, take somebody with you who can just stand there holding the gazebo, have a bit of a laugh with your customers about it. in my gazebo, because I haven't got the really thick legs, my legs are only 1.5 inches thick. We tend to say anything over predicted, if the weather is predicted anything over 20 miles an hour, it's probably going to be too dangerous for us to trade and will just be too stressful. So we might have to just knock the event on the head and not go. If you do think you can cope with the wind, make sure you have heavy weights to put on your legs. And sometimes you might want to take a second set that you can wrap around those weights as well. And also, if you can, take some rope or bungee straps that you can strap to some lamp posts, or sometimes there's some rings in the wall you can attach to that. I tend not to attach myself to my neighbour, because if they go, I'm going too. So you don't want to do that. Keep yourself independent. And think about the stability of your display. So you might want to take things like G-clamps, so you can clamp things onto the table. Something heavy that you can prop things up with, and have something underneath as well, so a weight. And yeah, basically just think about the stability of it. So an artist easel, for instance, there's no way of tying that down, weighing it down, so you're going to be picking that up every 5 minutes on a windy day. We don't even bother taking an artist easel with us. You can take the tabletop artist easels and then G-clamp those on, but the freestanding ones, don't even bother. They'll just give you such a headache, and whatever you've got displayed on that stand is going to get ruined, because it's going to be constantly on the floor. So think about the stability of your display and make sure everything isn't going to get knocked over in the slightest gust of wind. I always prefer to keep my gazebo open, so even on a nice day when it isn't raining, I don't put my sides up. I keep everything open, so when somebody comes into my stand, they don't feel like they're trapped inside this box and they're going to get a hard sale from me. If I can put my back on, if I want to hide my car that's parked behind me, or somebody else that's trading behind me, but I don't put the sides on. That way, a little bit of wind can flow through it, which helps your gazebo not get blown over. And also, people can still see from everywhere. They don't feel trapped. They can also see you when they're walking in from a distance. However, if it is raining, I prefer not to use my white sides that come with my gazebo. Instead, I bought 4-meter clear PVC sides, which I can then put on the sides, and then maybe a little bit in the front as well, just to protect my card stands that I have on the corners, and then that leaves like a doorway for people to come in. Most of the time though, if it's raining really hard, there's not going to be anybody in sight, so just tuck yourself in and just sit the rain out. Hopefully it won't last all day. My last section of tips is all my bonus tips. Post on social media, list where you're going on social media, and also on your website. Big it up, make sure everybody knows about it. You'll be surprised how many people will come to your stand and say, oh, I saw you on Facebook, I heard you were coming, I'm so glad you're here, I want to buy X. Make sure you've got lots of business cards on your table. They might not be able to afford to buy today, but in a couple of weeks' time when they've been paid, they'll go, oh, that necklace that I saw, I really like to buy that now that I've got some money. Where's the business card? Oh, it's in my wallet. You have to have public liability insurance for every event you go to. I'll list below the company I'm using at the moment. It depends what you're selling as to how much it is. Some of them do quotes. Some of them just do a standard market traders insurance. I've heard they can be anything from £50 to £250. So do your homework, research a little bit. The one I'm using at the moment, I think, was about £110. So that's quite good. And that lasted a year. Make sure you leave yourself plenty of time to get to an event. If you're doing a street fair, which is just once a year, it can be total carnage. There's cars everywhere, there's people arguing about what space they've got because they don't think it's good enough. So if you've got plenty of time, you're not going to be stressed out. You're going to have loads of time to set your stand up, and then if there's 2 of you, you can take it in turns to just have a quick look at what the competition is before the event starts. It's much more pleasant. And make sure you have fun. You know, you're there all day. Have fun with your customers, interact. With experience, you can learn who you can have a bit of a giggle with. I tend to find if it's a couple coming in and the woman is looking, keep the man entertained. Have a little giggle with him, and vice versa. My husband will do it with the women, I'll do it with the men. It works. So those are my tips for doing craft fairs. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've taken something from it that's going to help you, especially if you're doing your first craft fair in a few weeks' time or whatever, because we're coming up to Christmas. I will be taking you along with me over the next couple of months because I have got 7 Christmas markets coming up. 3 of them are indoor and 4 of them are outdoor. So I'll be taking you with me, showing you how we set up, and we'll have a little look around at the other stall holders so you can get a few ideas on how other people set up as well. Hopefully that will help you. So if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. Write in the comments if you've got an event coming up, if you need any advice on anything else that I haven't mentioned. Let me know where you're going. It's all good advertising. And don't forget to subscribe so you get to see those videos that are going to come up showing you all the different events that I'm going to be doing over the next 2 months. And now I'll go and do that demo on how to put a gazebo up on your own. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.